Hi, this is Christina Boyle, one of the librarians here at CSI. And right now we're going to take a look at how to do Boolean searches. So I'll show you what that is, but we're going to go ahead and click on Academic Search Complete, which if you're not familiar with how to access Academic Search Complete or you want more information on how to do advanced searches on there, we have another tutorial video based on that. So on the library homepage, I'm going to go ahead and click on databases, and then I can select the database list and click on Academic Search Complete and hit go. If you are not already logged on to a campus computer and you're doing this from a home computer or any place with an internet connection, it will prompt you to log in with your CUNY credentials before accessing the database. So your CUNY credentials meaning the same thing you use to log in to CUNY First or Blackboard. So again, the basics of doing an advanced search on Academic Search Complete are included in another tutorial, but we're going to focus specifically on Boolean searches here. So Boolean operators are these words right here, so and, or, and not. And these are used to really focus your searches. So we're going to talk about what each of these do and then show a few examples of how to use them. So whenever you want the database to search for a resource that includes multiple words or phrases, you would want to use the AND operator. So for example, if I wanted to search for obesity in children, and I put the word obesity in the first search box and children in the second search box, the AND here, this Boolean operator, is letting the database know to search for resources that have the word obesity and the word children in them. Technically, every time you put more than one word inside of one of this search boxes, it will put an invisible AND here. So if I were to put the word obesity and the word children like this, the database is going to search for anything that has the word obesity and the word children and not necessarily in this order and not necessarily together. If you did want to search for these words together in this order, what you would want to do is put quotations around it. And now this will search for the phrase obesity children, which doesn't quite make sense, but I'm just using this as an example. Without that, it automatically puts an invisible AND here. If I wanted to visualize the AND being there, I can just put the second word in this box, or you can type out the Boolean operators. And anytime you type out one of the Boolean operators, which like AND, you want to make sure it's in all capital letters because that will let the database know to search obesity and children rather than searching for the words obesity, the word and the word children. So as an example, obesity and children. And if I wanted to add in another term, let's put in fast food. So now the more search terms I add, the more narrow my search is going to be because I'm adding more and more limiters to my search. So something that has obesity ends to the word children, ends the term fast food. And again, there is an invisible AND here, which means it might search for the word fast and food. So if I wanted to be extra sure it's going to only use that whole term, I can try putting this in quotes. So let's just go ahead and search and see what comes up. So here we have 622 search results. I can, of course, go ahead and limit it to change my results, but we're just really going to be focusing on Boolean operators right here. So just as an example, another thing that we can do with Boolean operators is use the word or. So let's say, for example, I know that a lot of articles that talk about obesity in children might refer to children as adolescents. So here you can see, even when you click into one of the boxes, it will give you some recommendations for different synonyms to use. So if I wanted to say, okay, children or adolescents or youth or child or teenager is quite a lot, I'm just going to go ahead and put in children or adolescents. So now, again, I typed in this Boolean operator because I want, in all capitals, because I want the database to recognize that I'm looking for something that has the word obesity and the word children and the word fast food, or obesity adolescents, and fast food. So it will definitely have to include children or adolescents. So either one of these terms, obesity and fast food. So now this will increase the number of search results I get because I'm giving the database more opportunity for this second box here. So not only the word children, but also the word adolescents. So let's search and see if we get more than 622 results. So we did, we got 747, so that number went up. So that would be the use for something like or. Or is the most useful when we're thinking of synonyms. If I wanted to not maybe focus on obesity, maybe I wanted to focus on obesity or the word obese, because another thing is most likely the database will have the word obesity in it, but if maybe only the word obese is mentioned and we don't want to discount anything that has the word obese but not obesity, if that makes sense. So again, we're adding more ors, so this is probably going to widen our range. So it only did by 20, but you can see it did add in 20 more results. So the more ors that we add, the more results we're going to get. Whereas the less ors and the more ands, the less results we're going to get. So again, if I were just to do obesity and adolescents and fast food, because these are only ands, I'm going to get less results. So down to 277. The search order does matter. So the database will look for the first term, then the second, and then the third. So if there is a concept that is more important than the others that you'd like the database to focus on, you may want to put that as the first, and then the second most important as the second, and so on and so forth. So one other term, one other Boolean operator that is potentially used is the word not. So let's say, for example, I wanted to talk about obesity and children, but I don't want anything that includes the term BMI. Maybe that's just something that I don't think will be helpful. It's something I want to avoid in my research. So I can put not BMI. And this will tell the database to search for something that has the word obesity and the word children, but does not include BMI. So let's go ahead and search that. So we actually got a very large amount of research here, 27,000, because I did say obesity in children, which was far more broad. Let's go back to our original search of obesity and children and fast food. And if I click this plus sign here, it will give me another opportunity to add another line, and I'll say not BMI. So now this should very much narrow that down. So we're going from over 27,000 results, and let's see what pops up now. And as that takes a second to load, one other thing that is useful to know is that you can, the Boolean operators actually come from algebra. So the order of which you put things, if you put everything into one bar, also matters. And we do see here it shaved our results down quite a bit. So going back to being a little bit simpler, I'm going to actually do everything in just one box. Now this isn't necessary because you can just keep using more boxes if that helps you to visualize. But let's just say, for example, if I wanted to look up like obesity or overweight, so I'm okay with something that has both of those terms, and children or adolescents, and fast food. So essentially, I'm just telling the database these things in parentheses is one term. So either obesity or overweight, and either children or adolescents, and the term fast food. I'm going to go ahead and search. This is just a different way of doing the same thing, but I did want to show you that that is an option in case there is a database that you come across that defaults to a basic search and there's only one search bar and you wanted to just type everything in that. That's how you would do it. So Boolean operators are really useful. It's a good way to help narrow down your research, something you should give a try. And as always, if you have any questions, please contact the librarians. You can either contact us using our 24/7 chat reference, coming into the library when we're open to speak to a reference librarian, or reaching out to us via our emails if it's for a specific subject. Thank you, and I hope this was helpful.